Hi there, you're watching the IT Taster channel. I'm John, and in this video I'm going to take you through installing Microsoft Windows Server 2019. Now don't worry if you've never worked with Server before, because the installation process is very similar to Windows 10. In fact, throughout the video I will stop in the odd place just to point out some of the differences and give you a few suggested tips for when you're working within a server environment. Now this video is designed really to get you started, to help you download an evaluation of Windows Server 2019 and get it set up as a sort of a baseline in the test lab so that you can follow along with the videos in this series. Now before we get started, don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed to the IT Taster channel, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to also click the notification bell to receive alerts about new content. And also give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and I'm always interested to hear your comments because they help me improve my videos, and I'm also interested to hear how you're doing and hear sort of learner stories about where you're going with Windows Server and why you're learning it. So with all that said, let's go over to the test lab and get started. Before we get started with the installation, you will of course need a copy of Microsoft Windows Server 2019 to enable you to follow along with the video. So to do that, you simply need to visit the Microsoft Evaluation Center, and here you can download evaluation versions of various Microsoft products, including Windows Server 2019, which you can evaluate for free for 180 days. Now there are a few different file types available. You can evaluate it using Microsoft Azure. You can download an ISO file, which is what I normally do, and with this you can create bootable media for either a physical lab or a virtual lab. And also Windows Server 2019 is available as a virtual machine as well. And don't forget, you do need to register here, which is very useful because Microsoft will also send you product information and also additional materials to help you learn Windows Server 2019. So with that said, let's get cracking with the installation. The first thing I need to do is boot from the installation media. Now in my case, I'm installing Windows Server 2019 on a virtual machine in VirtualBox. So I've configured my virtual machine to boot from the Windows Server 2019 ISO file that I downloaded earlier. Now if you plan to use spare hardware and perform a physical installation, you'll need to create your own bootable media. So I'd suggest something like a clean 8GB USB memory stick for that purpose. I need to select my time and currency format, which in my case is English United Kingdom. Click Next and click Install Now to begin the installation. I now need to choose the Windows Server operating system I wish to install. I'm going to choose Windows Server 2019 Standard Evaluation Desktop Experience. Now it's important to pay careful attention here because the desktop experience installs the full graphical interface version of the operating system, which is ideal for learning and evaluating Windows Server 2019. The options that do not include desktop experience will install a server core version of the operating system, which doesn't include a GUI, and it's managed using PowerShell or remotely with Windows Admin Center and other tools. Now Server Core is well worth evaluating later on though. It's a great opportunity to learn PowerShell and remote server management skills. But for now, I'm going to click Next. Here we need to have a read through the licensing terms. And if you accept, click I accept the license terms and click Next. Here I need to choose the type of installation. Now we've got two choices. The custom option will allow me to install a new, clean, brand new installation of Windows Server 2019. The upgrade option upgrades a previous version of Windows Server to Windows Server 2019. Now as this is a brand new installation in the test lab, I'm going to choose custom. I now need to specify where to install the new Windows Server 2019 operating system. So I'm going to create a new partition for it and specify the size. Now I can simply click Next and use the entire disk space available, but it's often a good idea to contain the operating system in its own separate partition. For example, if the server is going to be used as a file server, it's a good idea to keep the operating system separate from user data. So I'm going to create a new 60 GB system partition. So I click New and specify 60 GB. Click Apply and click OK. Now this should be fine for the test lab and evaluation, but for production environments a suggestion might be to consider a larger partition, something like 100 GB, but there are many other factors to weigh up and take into account. Now also notice when this is finished we can see that a system reserved partition of around 550 meg is automatically created. Now this is used for boot configuration and also by BitLocker. Make sure the primary partition is selected and click Next. We now need to sit back as the files are copied and installed. This is going to take a little while, so let's skip ahead and rejoin the installation to save us hanging around. Windows is now going to restart a couple of times, and after that I can finish the installation. Finally, I need to specify a password for the built-in administrator account. And remember, the password must meet Windows Server password complexity requirements. And click Finish. The installation of Microsoft Windows Server 2019 is now complete, and we're greeted with Server Manager, which starts automatically by default. Well, that brings us to the end of the video, and we now have Microsoft Windows Server 2019 successfully installed in our test lab. And that means that we can now move on to the next video where we'll look at an initial configuration of a server. But don't be put off by the installation process. Sometimes, because it's a very straightforward and simple thing, people often don't like to repeat it that often in the test lab. But I do think it's a good idea, and it's something I recommend to students, because when you perform the installation a number of times, you get very familiar with it. So when you go out of the test lab into a production environment, it's something that's second nature. So with that said, please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'm interested to hear your feedback and also your learner stories as well. So drop a comment below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.